Hello, I'm Elgato, and welcome back to the video. Today I have some Minecraft news to share with you all, and it comes directly from Jeb one more time, because Jeb responded to the response to the combat changes. I know response to response sounds ridiculous, but basically Jeb did land, and that means he could respond to some of the stuff people had been asking, especially about the rest of the stuff that had been confirmed in this off-the-record leak, which we confirmed to be real. And in today's video I want to talk about some of the things that he said in response to that, because he's going to be changing the breath bar. He's talking about some potential changes of combat, and also it confirms a lot of new features that I wanted to talk about and share with you all in today's video. So like this video if you do like it, because it helps out the channel, and let's know you do like these sorts of news videos and want me to keep uploading videos every single time we learn news about Minecraft, especially given that we're learning so much. We just had the update revealed, so we're getting these tiny little tidbits about how the update is going to work when it does come out, such as this very first thing, which comes in from Jeb, who was responding to someone's concerns about how breathing could work in this update, because Jeb had stated the intent to actually change it already. And basically Jeb says right here that the breath bar change may not even be necessary with new water physics. It's just a bit weird that all you need to breathe is a torch. In any case, it will regenerate in less than a second, just not instantaneously. So right now in Minecraft, the breath bar works as just kind of like a limiter to how long you can be underwater. It's essentially a timer as to how long you go under before you'll start, choking and then dying. So basically Jeb is suggesting that the breath bar should actually be like a real meter of some form, and it could recharge at its own rate. However, again, this thing right here, he confirms that it's not going to be like this really slow recharge like in some games. Instead, it's going to be like, oh yeah, you come to the surface, you wait less than a second, and then you count as having, having your oxygen refilled. Because right now it's really weird that if you place a torch, you get this tiny split second of oxygen. It's literally like 0.05 seconds or something, and then you've got a full breath bar again. And it's really fun to use it, but it does seem like, that seems weird to Jeb, and that's one of the things he's considering fixing in this next update. So yeah, the breath bar is going to exist as a real thing. This presumably means that it's going to have some new modifiers to it. We already have like a couple of enchantments, but maybe one of the new treasures or one of the new, things will actually allow that to happen more. Maybe there'll be more ways to find that. Again, it just seems like something that makes sense, given that there's so many more things that we have to explore that are under the ocean that require more time than just, like right now you get like 10 seconds. You might require more time than that to explore a proper undersea wreck. And yeah, basically let's go back into the rest of it, because he says the water changes would have dramatic effects on contraptions, but even if the old ones are broken, it would open up a whole new world of other contraptions that can be made. We don't want to change for change's sakes though, and we are considering having a game rule option. Unfortunately, this will change a lot of code complexity, which means bugs. As I said on stage, the main goal is to make it possible to build with slabs and stairs underwater. Mob spawning would need an overhaul now that we are adding so many new underwater mobs, which sounds to me at least like they're going to be changing how squid spawning works, how they're going to be changing how garden spawning works, and maybe even the above ground mobs too, because right now squid seems to be, it's a really rough algorithm of just like, if you're nearby the water, they'll spawn in like a group of 5. It looks like they're going to be reworking the algorithm to make mobs spawn in deeper ocean, higher up in the ocean, stuff like that. They're going to make it work a bit better, which is going to be quite interesting too. So they're changing the breath bar, they're changing the mob stuff, and also they're going to be making a lot of code changes to how this stuff will work. And again, if you have underwater contraptions right now, there's a chance it will break, but the idea is that they're going to add remove like 100 possibilities and add in 10,000 more. So again, that sounds pretty exciting to me. And the second thing he responds to, it's not really talking about something that's going in the game, but I thought it was interesting regardless, because he responds to someone who talks about how there's like a lot of inconsistencies in the game by saying that fixing one inconsistency does not mean that the game is completely without other inconsistencies. Charge up attacks sound really neat, but to be consistent, it should be a right click action like bows, but that would mess with the offhand. So that you are right that block breaking really should be on the right mouse and not the left mouse. A lot of other Minecraft inspired games actually switch these buttons, but it has been like this in Minecraft since the beginning. And here he basically says that charge up attacks would be cool, but it doesn't make much sense. So because basically right now in the new combat, it's charge down for combat and charge up for stuff. Basically he's someone suggested that instead of having combat be like a delay, which annoys people, have it be a charge up, the thing I mentioned. But he said that he would like it to be consistent with the right click, and that's something he can't do without doing the changes to combat, which he's already said he's not going to do anymore. So then we also have the thing where he says the right and the left click thing. I think that's really interesting, because on the console it actually is the right trigger and the left trigger, and on PC the only reason he hasn't switched the triggers or the mouse buttons is just because it's been like that forever. And that's just a fun fact you might not know. Like on Minecraft, like it's left click to hit stuff and right click to break, to place blocks, and it's really kind of backwards to how you would expect it. And also other games do it the other way too. It's just something interesting that you might not have figured. So with that said, this moves the third thing he says here, which is a tiny little thing where he just says, no problem in the future, I will be more careful when talking off the record. This entire interview came just because, or this like Q&A thing, came just because one guy was asking him questions while they had some time together, and basically he's now going to be a bit more careful when talking about like features from behind the scenes, which is a bit of a shame I guess, but it does prevent like a huge controversy coming up. But again, maybe we'll still hear stuff in the future sometime anyway. I'd like it if there was more like secret stuff going down like that, but again, that's something where he says he's going to be more careful careful to prevent the big community reaction. So let's go back to the main post itself then, because that's a lot of news by itself. New breath bar, you know, considering charging up attacks, but he doesn't really, again, the charge up attack is considered, but because he can't do it right click, he's not too sure about it. And then also the fact that there's going to be a lot of contraptions breaking. And then finally, we've got the fact that mob spawning is going to be changing too. But then also, because he confirmed this post was real, he confirmed that he did speak to that guy, he confirmed all the things that he said were real, but he maybe shouldn't have said them. This means that everything he said in that post was real, which means we can go back to it and we can confirm that these things are real also. Because again, I confirmed this was, you know, like a real leak before, but now that means it's like double confirmed by Jeb himself. Let's go back to it and let's talk about some of the new stuff that we learned that's now 100% official. So, for instance, how big is Mob C? They are very big, around 3x3 blocks. This was confirmed by Jasper too, but if you voted for Mob, if you didn't vote for Mob C, you missed out on what could have been a 3x3 block mob that was camouflaged, that also ate enchantments. What more is there to like in the game? I'm just saying, you voted wrong, but we did learn about Mob B, which we'll learn about in a second. But first of all, will there be any more loot in Shipwrecks? Yes, there'll be chests with treasure in them. Again, kind of exciting, gives you a reason to go down there, gives you a reason to need some breath, and apparently in this next update, that's going to require some potions or enchantments, so maybe get those enchantments right now, save yourself a bit of time. And also, are the coral new blocks? It looks like terracotta, and he says they are new blocks, but the blocks shown was an old texture. So the coral that we saw in those trailers, it sounds like to me, are not the coral we'll be getting in the main game. Those are like, you know, secret second corals, which is fascinating to me. Like, again, those look so good in the trailer, but as it turns out, they're not the real coral. They're kind of a placeholder, like with the Mob E thing, and it's weird how much of that we're seeing. And also, it's weird that it's already old and that they've already fixed it. Maybe Jasper changed it. I'm not certain. But with that said, we have two things about Mob B to mention. The first one is that will Mob B fly down to you if you are not really high up in the sky? No, for them to attack you, you have to be high above the ground / sea level. You can expect to get attacked in mountains and extreme hill biomes. So yeah, basically this is going to be an extreme hill biome exclusive mob. I think we only really have that with what, like the llama right now, and even then it's not exclusive there, it just spawns more there. So that means we're going to have like a real hostile mob to make the extreme hill scary. I hope we learn what the loot is later to make it worthwhile, because also they attack in groups of 3 and 4, which is really, really interesting stuff, but it's not scary because the way I thought it was going to be is like insomnia is a real thing you got to watch out for. If you don't sleep through a Minecraft night, these things will come after you, but now we just know it's going to be in the extreme hill biome, so you have to not sleep and then go up a mountain, and then they, you know, confront you, and, you know, maybe they're really scary in a group of 4, but it doesn't sound too much like that. So, you know, I'm just going to take this as a smug second to be like, I think Mob C might have been cooler. Obviously, though, we still don't know anything about Mob B besides it looks the way it looks, and it's, you know, again, I feel like the details are going to really make it a much more exciting mob, but the monster of the night skies is going to be the monsters of the night skies, and they're also only going to really attack you in extreme hill biomes. Presumably, you can lead them down from there somewhere else, but they're only going to naturally spawn there. They're only going to attack you if you go that high up, which is, again, it's interesting and something you might not have figured. So with that said, there is all the Minecraft news we had confirmed today. I hope you did all enjoy this video. I'll be streaming later, as I do every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 PM GMT, so make sure you come check that out. Like it if you did like it, share if you really liked it, and subscribe around here, and let me know what you think of the Minecraft news in the comments down below. I'm always curious to get like the community opinion on what's going on here, because sometimes like there's something that you guys think about where I'm like, oh, that is interesting. But personally, I think that it's really good stuff in terms of Mob B is, you know, not going to bother people who don't want to be bothered by it. It's kind of like a you go seek it, even though you have the insomnia thing, which defeats the point of insomnia. I think the new breath bar, personally, I'm a little bit bummed that like, oh, my torch technique, but I think it's great that they're actually going to make it a real thing and maybe give some modifiers, so that's exciting. I think the change in mob spawning could be exciting too, could make the oceans even better, and just in general, I think this update is going to be pretty darn exciting. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Turn on notifications if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.